Hello, my friends, welcome. Hope you are all okay. This time I've taken a topic on yoga. Yoga to become a total man. Yog Sadhana, एक संपूर्ण मानव बनने की उपाय. I'm Dr.Subrata, your host, a scholar, a lover of Indian spirituality. Now, when I utter the name of the topic, Yoga to become a total man, obviously the question comes, who is a total man? संपूर्ण मानव किसे कहते हैं? A total man is he who has a harmony in between body, mind and soul, and with it the nature. This is interesting. Body, mind and soul, and an alignment, harmonization with the nature. This is very important. By Yog Sadhana, we are not going to make a wrestler out of a yogi, or a boxer, or an athlete. On the contrary, an athlete, a boxer, or whatever play he is involved in, must practice some kind of yoga, at least meditation, in order to excel himself or herself in the field. Now the question is, how to become a total man? संपूर्ण मानव कैसे बने? If you go into the commonly accepted definition of yoga, which has been given by Maharshi Patanjali, nearly say 200 to 500 years before Christ, though yoga is practiced for millennia. And we, as you all know, that the first yoga guru we call Adi Yogi is Shankara, Bhagavan Shankara. And then there is Yogeshwara Krishna. That's a separate issue, we will come to it later on. But the most accepted definition of yoga is Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha. Yoga is for stilling, coming down, coming of your mind, and of course chattering mind. Mind is always in chattering, always in making stories and all that, continuously in action. So yoga is more interested in coming down the mind. I mean the chattering mind, the busy mind, and the yoga asanas and all that are helping that main activity gradually. So as I said already, yoga is not making you a wrestler or an athlete. Yoga has some kind of a spiritual activity in its own. Yoga is more mental than physical. That's very important. Yoga is more mental than physical. As you advance in this yoga sadhana, you will see that yoga is more mental, more psychological. You start with physical fitness. You enter into the realm of the mind and gradually into the realm of Atma. Now there are 8 steps commonly accepted. Yama, which means an external discipline. For example, in these discipline we find ahimsa, satya, asteya, brahmacharya and so on. Then there is niyama, internal discipline, where you will get sachvata, tripti, asantosh, tapas, atma chintan and so on. Then comes asana, yoga postures. Then pranayam, breathing control. Then pratyahara, withdrawal of senses. Dharana, concentration. Then dhyana, and finally samadhi, which means union, or in a way union between Jivatma, individual self, and Paramatma, the supreme self, the supreme being. That's more or less the Ashtanga Yoga, 8 limbs yoga. This is the 8 steps of the yoga. The basic thing in yoga is physical fitness. देहमन आत्मा की सामंजस्यता एक सूर में बांधना ही योग है. Physical fitness, then mental fitness, which leads you to Atma. Normally we are accustomed with yogasanas and pranayams, and sometimes with meditation. We think that's sufficient, but not at all. They are the survat, they are the starting, they are the beginning. And I must say one thing, yogis, you won't find competitive mentality with yogis. They keep in themselves a different kind of approach which is very much spiritual in nature. Sarvei bhavantu sukhina, sarvei santu niramaya, sarvei vadrani pashyanti, ma kaschit dukham apnuvat. This is the essence of their prayer, their attitude towards the world. Let all be happy. Let all be free from illness. Let there be goodness to all. Let no one suffer. No one, no human being, no being whatsoever. Even the creatures. No, let there be no suffering among creatures. So, if you consider the whole thing, sarve bhavantu sukhina, sarve santu niramaya, sarve vadrani pashyanti, ma kaschit dukham apnuvat. If this be the attitude, then obviously he is not a simple wrestler or a boxer or a gym-going man. Not at all. He is making a kind of sadhana. So yoga is always a sadhana, I consider a sadhana of coming together, or you making oneself integrated with the Supreme Being. Atma to Paramatma, Jivatma to Paramatma. There is a very interesting point. Now I come to this. What is the essence of yoga? We are starting with total man, and then we considered how to become a total man. Now the question comes, if, as we normally do, as we practice some asanas, and sometimes some asanas, and obviously with some certain pranayams, and then a little bit of meditation, what is the result? Are they sufficient enough, or they mean nothing? I will say they also mean something. They are also meaningful, but they are not touching the sense of yoga. So if you want to go deeper into it, if you want to go yoga in its essence, if you want to touch the sense of yoga, if you want to see yoga as a sadhana, a spiritual sadhana, then you must have to go deeper, at least meditation level. Otherwise, you cannot test the beauty of it. Now I will come to a very important question, the sense of yoga. Well, I will mention one thing. Bhagavad Gita is a book of yoga. If I say the Bhagavad Gita, where Sri Krishna teaches, motivates Arjuna, his greatest friend and disciple, whatever you want to say, in the 18 chapters, and remarkably all 18 chapters are named in the word yoga. They are all steps of yoga. They are all ways of yoga. Vishada yoga, Jnana yoga, Bhakti yoga, Shankha yoga, Sannyasa yoga, Raj yoga, and everything. 18 chapters, all chapters are named after yoga. Sri Krishna, Bhagavan Krishna, who is also named Yogeshwara Krishna, the god of yoga, has taken yoga in a different dimension. He made yoga all-inclusive. Gave yoga an enormously great space. Even in sansara, even in daily life, you can have yoga. That's the beauty of it. And if you want to listen to that very important sloka, when Bhagavan Sri Krishna teaches in the warfield, Kurukshetra war, in the warfield teaches Arjuna, he said to Arjuna, Yogastha kuru karmani shangang tvakta dhananjaya siddhi ashiddhyo shamo bhutva shamatyang yoga uchat. O Arjuna, do your work in a detached manner, staying in yoga, without caring what you are receiving, what you are not receiving, what is your achievement, what is not. Because this very sameness of mind, this very equality of the mind, this very equilibrium of the mind, this very unperturbed nature of the mind, samatya, samatyang yoga uchyate. Never perturbed, never disturbed in any situation whatsoever. Do your work this way. Fight in this war, in Kurukshetra, this way, without caring the results. And there is another fantastic sloka, he said, Bhagavan Sri Krishna, telling to Arjuna, Yoga karmashu kaushalam. Yoga is intelligent way of doing work. अच्छे से अच्छे काम करने का तरीका है योग. Yoga karmashu kaushalam. Yoga is intelligent way of doing work. And so, at the end, Bhagavan Sri Krishna said to Arjuna, Tashmad yogi bhavarjuna. Tashmad yogi bhavarjuna. Be a yogi over Arjuna. At last I am telling you. I am advising you to be a yogi. Look, Sri Krishna telling to his best disciple, the best friend, to become a yogi. That's the beauty of yoga. And in this advice lies the essence of yoga too. Yoga is perhaps the best art of living ever told. Best art of living in the sense, it cares your body, it cares your mind. And finally, you reach the level of soul and to the Paramatma. And in this process, without disturbing anybody, sarve bhavantu sukhina. Now this approach, this attitude comes only after doing yoga. When your body is fit, your mind is calm and quiet, you understand the importance of the nature. There is a fantastic alignment of yourself with the nature. And you are settled in intelligence. You are very much in the level of soul. You are very much in the level of Atma. And receiving a continuous union and integration with the Paramatma. That's fantastic. And yoga helps you to enter into that field, the field of a great spirituality. Yoga is something different. It has got a different dimension of its own. It's not competitive. It's assimilation. It's making harmonization of yourself with the creation. That's fantastic nature of yoga. So, at the end, I want to say that when I listen to yogis' prayer, what kind of prayer they utter, it has a character of its own. It is very much related with ancient India, with Sanatana Dharma. It started, say, thousands and thousands of years ago. Whenever we see Bhagavan Shankara's any figure, any any photo is always in meditative posture. So, it has a sanatanic connection and it needs to be understood. When you do yoga, we must have that kind of a teacher to us mind, that yoga is something different. Yoga is a kind of union. It's more mental, as I said earlier, than physical. Physical, that is, fitness of your body is a must to enter into the field of mind, making it still. And when the mind is still, you can go farther into the field of Atma. And finally, you will receive a communion, an integration with Paramatma. So at the end I must say, I want to repeat the chant our yogis made in, say, thousands of years ago. Dvau Shanti, Antarikshang Shanti, Prithvi Shanti, Apa Shanti, Aushadaya Shanti, and so on. Let there be pollution-free air, let there be pollution-free world, let there be pollution-free water. Shanti doesn't mean only silence or only coolness. It also means purity. Pollution-free air, pollution-free water, pollution-free world, environment. So that's very interesting. So when this is achieved, a perfect yogi always prays for it. And when people understands the value of it, the world will see a real Shanti in every aspect of life. So let there be peace. Thank you very much for listening. See you again. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.